All right, there's the ding. Hey, everybody. So I want to welcome everybody to the Hangout. I appreciate people taking time out of their day on a Saturday to hook up. And I just want to really briefly recap. We'll call this the maiden voyage. We did a hangout with a couple of us last week, and we're going to build upon this. The intention with Expert Secrets, bottom line, is to grow people and grow businesses, and then to pull from the resources within the community and the group to help assist and support us in taking our passion and our vision to the marketplace. And so what we're going to do here is we've got some already remarkable people within this team, and we're going to go around the room, and everybody's going to give just an overview of where they've been, where they're at, and where they're hoping to go, so we can get to know one another. And then we've got some great coaches that have, again, expert secrets. These people are great at certain things, and they're going to share a little bit about what they do, and we'll start building it up. So in the process of that, if you're not speaking, if you could, just hover over your face, your mug on the bottom section, or rather in the control bar, you can mute yourself just to kind of keep down background noise while everybody's sharing, and I'll keep my hand off my desk so I don't look like I'm in an earthquake. So with that, what I'd like to do is we'll start with, on my left anyway, probably everybody else's is Dan. Dan, if you want to fire off, give people a little idea of who you are and where you've been, where you're at, why you're here, and where you're going.
Alrighty, hi guys, Dan Pine, and right now I am currently a high school math teacher in Virginia. I get to play around with some of the upper level kids, so teaching the IB, the International Baccalaureate Program, and enjoy that. Started my online journey probably about 10 years ago, playing around with Google AdWords back in 2003, and have been doing a lot since then, mostly learning. I'm always loving to learn new things, and right now my biggest growth area is applying those things. And so partnered up with a guy a couple years back, and we do some online lead generation, mostly business to business. So we're in like answering services and construction site trailers and VoIP and dozens of different markets there. And as Troy mentioned before, having some success there, and so making a little money each month, but lack a little control, and some aspects of that business scare me a little bit, in that I'd like to be able to have some repeat customers and build some relationships and build a long-term asset instead of kind of a one-off thing. We're kind of at the whim of the Google gods right now, and that can be a little bit of a scary place to be. So looking to bring in some stability and to increase my income. I'm looking to go full-time with the internet aspect of building a business within the next 6 months. And so well on my way, and I'm just excited. I'm stoked to be a part of this. This is awesome. I had a great conversation with Troy yesterday. I'm excited about what we're building here, what we're putting together, and so just really great to meet all of you and get a chance to hang out and get to know you guys a little bit better.
Awesome. Dan, no, I'm really excited to hang out and chat with you more, get to know more, and support what you're doing. We have a lot of things that are in common, and so thanks for sharing that, brother, and I appreciate you being here. Matt, next, my friend.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Matt McVicker here. Kind of who I am. Just recently passed 33 years old, so got 5 kids, 3 of which are mine, 2 are from my wife, my newly wife's side. And so needless to say, we're pretty busy at any given moment, any given day. So if you hear some background noise, that's my little baby Marley. She's over here eating lunch. So, but basically, I got introduced to the whole internet thing probably, what, about 2 or 3 years ago, Troy. Went to a live event with Troy and some other folks. And there's my daughter, as you can hear. But I used to design WordPress websites and did that for a while. But I've been a jack of all trades and kind of an expert in none, so I've been in the paper science industry for over 15 years. It's okay, Marley. And just kind of dabbled in the internet marketing type stuff just to see a little bit extra income to see what it's all about. But with 5 kids and everything that we do, I'm trying to free up some more time for my wife and I where we can kind of enjoy life more and be able to really relish in what our kids are and as they grow up. And so this is one avenue, working with Troy and some other folks, that I can see that potential happening. It's just being dedicated enough and being able to stick with it to ensure that no matter what we do, that we follow it from the beginning to the end to make it happen. So hoping to get some motivation from you guys, and any help that you guys need or anything that we can do to help you, be happy to throw it.
Awesome.
Hey, Troy.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, so you said to kind of mention our skill set. So, Matt, would you say your skill set is kind of in WordPress design, or what would you add to that in terms of your strengths?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing WordPress website design for the better part of 5 years, and so I've got over a couple hundred websites I could refer you to as far as that goes. But really, graphic design, WordPress design. I've been doing SEO, like probably not for about a year, but there for a good 2-year stretch was really dived into SEO and what to do to get the sites up. But kind of when the big Penguin update came through, we started another industrial business, and so I've been focusing more on that and not so much on the SEO stuff, but just trying to get back as far as that goes. But just in design, I've got that, but also a solid business background because I worked for a major corporation for 10 years, and then in that same industry, in that same niche, we went and created our own company that's been able to compete with these multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar companies and actually take business from them and bring it to us. So there's a lot of, I guess, life-learned lessons from the School of Hard Knocks to where you can see what somebody else is doing and actually implement it into your business, into your life, where you can do what they're doing, 10 times better and be able to pick up the same clients that they had. So,
awesome.
Cool.
Good stuff. Next we have Mr. Pat Patton. Pat and I worked together. I think we met on that internet app project last year, Pat, and really great guy. Again, everybody on this hangout, when Russell said, hey, look, this is what we're going to do, I asked him if I could go through and reach out to personal friends, people that I've worked with in the past that I really would love to work with again, and Pat happens to be one of those guys. And so, Pat, take it away. Share where you've been, what's happening, where you're going, and what you mastered you're a ninja at.
Well, like you said, yeah, we met. We worked together a couple of times, a couple of projects, and when it comes, well, my area of expertise is more. I do car audio stuff. Is what I do. 9 to 5. I do high-end car audio. That's my niche. I've been doing that for going on probably 14 years now. And like you said, I've been doing network marketing kind of on the side. I'm really new to the internet marketing side, so for me, this is I'm the new guy on the block. So I'm really just here to soak up all the information I can, and I appreciate the opportunity, Troy, and allowing me to join this group and get all the information I can.
Well, that was brief. You're a whole lot more awesome than that, man. But I appreciate you, Pat.
What else you want to know?
I want to know what's on the other side of that NFL hat. What team is it?
What's that?
I said I want to know what's on the other side of the NFL hat. What team is that? What? Oh, the Seahawks. All right, there you go. Right.
Yeah, I'm here, Northwest Seahawks guy.
Cool.
We'll let them live, right?
All right. Where do you live, Pat?
I live there's a little town called Paulsbo, outside of Seattle.
Yeah, I know where Paulsbo is. I'm down in the Dalles, Oregon, but I lived up in Gig Harbor for a while.
That's why I work in Gig Harbor.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
All right, guys. I'm still. There we go. Okay, we're up to with Mr. Tom Jones and Ann. Can you hear me? Okay, I've got you muted somehow. Let's get you unmuted. Hold on, Tom. Can't hear you. James, help a guy out. I went in and I clicked in and muted that thing.
Yeah, Tom. If you click over above the above your screen, just hover over the top of your screen. You'll see a little mic icon, and it's towards the top left of your screen. Just click on that mute microphone or unmute, and that'll unmute. There you go.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I'm just elated to be here today because I see a group of people that can help us get to the next level, and I'm a compounding pharmacist. Been a pharmacist since 1965. And
all right, thanks again.
Owned the store for about 37 years, and I had to close back when the recession hit. So now my forte is I've been helping women with menopausal issues, getting them through that tough stage of their life, and guys through the andropause, which kind of that's pushed under the rug a lot because we don't like to talk about the things that happen to us when we get into aging. So my forte, though, is health and wellness, getting people feeling better as we age, even the young guys. So life is about having challenges and overcoming those challenges and doing the best you can to make your life and everybody else's life better. So I like, oh my goodness, this group, I see people who have technology and they have motivation. They do all the things that I look at and see, oh my goodness, this is available in 2014. It wasn't available 20, 30 years ago. So what you want to do is take that technology, put it with your really, really cool areas of expertise, and then educate other people who have those same interests. And I see our group as being able to get the expert secrets, being able to get a whole nother set of markets out there for all of us. And if we use the expertise that you have and combine it with what we have, then the sky's the limit. Because there's businesses that need help, there's individuals that need help, and we've got the utilities to sell these people and make money. That's what I like to see. And here in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, we've got a wonderful market, but the market is the world. So I look out and technology. I've never done a hangout before, and this is new to me. So how cool is it to see the best experts in the world sitting right there on my computer screen? Wow.
You're awesome. The only thing that would make this better, Tom, is if you'd have your lovely fiancée move a little closer so we can look at her.
Yeah. Troy, the cool thing a while ago, she said, "Are we live?" So she had to run and get and comb her hair. But you know, what we're going to be doing is offering a consultative program for our people. But you know what? It's out there in the whole world. This group, we can actually use some of the resources that y'all develop. We can help you become an affiliate there of you, and then it's just a give world. You give your talent and you receive.
I know. Sing it, brother. Sing it, brother. I'm going to have to, can we hear an amen? Tom, so Tom, you know this book?
I don't know, but you should.
But I need.
You need that.
I'm reading that down right now. Wow, the guy's my age.
Oh no, he's older than
no, he's older than me.
So yeah, it's a great book. It's Jeffrey Life has he really forged really made popular. He's in what is it, Sky Mall and different magazines, and you see this guy, and he's really taken bioidentical hormones to a whole nother level. And this is something like for you, Tom, with your knowledge, especially with compound pharmacies. Read this book, and I've got a lot of other resources when it comes to bioidenticals, anti-aging, Life Extensions magazines, another really great one. If you don't already subscribe to it, get Life Extensions magazine. But there it is, brother.
I see it. It's awesome.
All right.
Yes, that's something we want to get our hands on.
All right, Al Bowens, you're next, my friend. You muted. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Al. You got to take your cursor up over your mug, and then.
How's that? Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear, brother. Take it away.
All right. Yeah, mine project is going to be. It's a gold crowdfunding platform where people can donate to whatever cause you want to do, and my cause is going to be for homeless children. I created a unincorporated nonprofit organization that will be able to receive donations to help get homeless children off the streets. My forte is that if we have more empty homes than we have homeless people, why can't we purchase these homes and put these homeless people and children in them and have a type of a win-win type of situation? Does that make sense?
Clearly,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Go ahead. So my thing is this: is that we as Americans, we have that uncanny ability to. We don't really need the government to do it. We as people can do this. We can generate enough funds to help these people get off the streets. I went down to the homeless shelter and looked at some of these kids, and it was sad to me. So that's kind of my passion right now, is to raise funds for these kids more than anything.
Told you that we got some rock star awesome people in this deal.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Al. I'm really glad you're here, man. And I look forward to learning more about what you're doing and how we can support, especially with the holidays coming up. You know, Thanksgiving. If you're already in that community, anything that our family can do, I really want to share and teach my kids, the importance of giving. So let's chat for sure next week.
Definitely.
Thanks, man. Mr. Chapman, I know your story, so I'm gonna give it to you, and then I'm gonna go. I gotta go handle something real quick. It's all good. So take it away, my friend.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Troy. You go take care of your deal there. Sorry about the little bit of a delay here. I've got a little bit of a difference between my camera, which I got to replace, and my computer speed. But I'm James Chapman. Yeah, Troy said he knows my story. Essentially, I worked in corporate America for 18 years. First with Kinko's. Raise your hand if anyone knows who Kinko's is. I want to see how old we got people in here. Okay, all right. People know Kinko's. Cool. I mentioned Kinko's to someone the other day, some kid at Starbucks, and she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Oh my god." And
That's still valid.
I was a manager for Kinko's and a district manager, and then FedEx came in and bought Kinko's, and then we were FedEx Kinko's, and I did that for a long time. What I really enjoyed about that part of my life was working with teams, building teams, working with customers face-to-face, helping solve their problems, and really turning problem locations into excelling locations, and that was kind of my specialty, and I did it all based on customer service and having the right team in place. But after FedEx came in, it kind of altered the whole culture of the company. It was much different, much more regimented, much more checklist-driven, and not as much people-driven. And I was kind of miserable. And so my exit strategy was to drive my sports car into a tree at 90 miles an hour and almost kill myself. So I basically was in recovery for about a year. I had protective leave of absence for 3 months. When that ran out, I basically was jobless, but that was kind of by choice. I knew it was an opportunity to reinvent myself, and I'd always dabbled in internet marketing. Had done some internet marketing, affiliate marketing just on the side, as a little hobby, just testing different things. Always fascinated with the internet. But then I started building websites, doing WordPress sites, and I did one for a local neighbor of mine who basically had a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, but he didn't have any kind of internet presence at all. So I said, hey, I want to practice these skills I'm learning and build you a site. And he's like, sure, that sounds great. Go for it. So I built him a capture page with an email autoresponder and a coupon for 10% off if they opted in. It wasn't even a real website. It was just a landing page. And then I built a video. The video got tons of views on YouTube. This is 2010, I believe, 2009. Video got tons of views. It was 2009. Video got tons of views. We got tons of leads. We got all this traffic coming in. People coming in redeeming the coupons. He's like, man, I don't know what you did, but it's working. And he started sending me referral business. So long story short, the story's much longer than that. I wasn't able to replace my six-figure income that I had with FedEx with doing internet marketing, kind of learning as I'm going and getting clients. So we lost our home to foreclosure up in Gig Harbor, Washington, and we ended up moving to where my family, my wife, and kids always want to live, which is the Columbia River Gorge and kind of Hood River, Oregon area. So that's where we are now. We're actually in the Dalles, Oregon. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful part of the country. And so for the past 5 years, I've been here working on various projects. I've got a company I run. I've got a mastermind I partner with a couple other guys in, where we have people paying a monthly membership. There's all kinds of masterminds. One thing I want to say with you guys, we have a diverse range of people here, which is really awesome, because what happens when you have a small group like this, or even a larger group, but when you're interacting, you're participating, you're working, moving forward, you're learning together, you're collaborating, you're innovating, and that innovation is when you have a breakthrough. You find something that's working for you, and you just do more of that. As you do more of that that's working, it opens up even more possibilities and over even more things that are working. And so, right now I'm focused primarily on these Google Live Hangouts. We do these live Hangouts on a Facebook app page, like a Facebook fan page, but it has a third-party app. So we broadcast live Hangouts on Facebook. We do these for coaches, speakers, authors, attorneys, even local business owners are doing them just to generate search engine rankings, as well as social signals and social interaction. So that's really what I've been focused on lately. Also product creation, doing some product creation around, we've got a product coming out around Google Drive and how to use Google Drive to run your business. So lots of cool things, guys, out there. There's no better time than right now to be maximizing learning some of these technologies. Don't feel overwhelmed, because you will. Just remember, all you have to do is take it one thing at a time. Go to where it makes the most sense of you. Focus on what was working for you, and as you learn from others, your skill set will increase. And those things that you don't necessarily do well, find someone else to do it. Work with somebody, collaborate with somebody, because if you spend a whole lot of time, trying to do something that just you don't like doing, or doesn't come naturally to you, or you don't find some sort of element of joy in it, that's the kind of thing you want to find a partner, find an outsourcer, find somebody else to take on that task where it's good for you to understand it, but you don't necessarily have to master it. So that's just my 2 cents there. That's kind of what I'm involved in, guys.
You're awesome, James. I appreciate that, man. That is so true, man. I spent a lot of time trying to be a master of something that I was not good at. Hey, and so up next is Will Irish, and I just have to say, I don't know Will real well yet, other than our interactions through text and messaging, and the guy is just a gentleman. He's awesome, and he's one of those guys, and I love this more than anything, man, which is he came into this group because he knows, loves, and trusts James Chapman, and so he said, yeah, if you say it's a good thing, then I'm in. And so I feel really honored that you showed up here, Will, and also appreciate that, James. That's something I want to put out right now is, man, I've got a mile-long list of people that have worked with purchase something from Russell that, it's my responsibility to go through that and identify rock star people. And I'm telling you, like Dan and Tom, you guys, I went through a lot of people to find people like you. A lot of people want to in the group, but it's just like, man, it's just not a fit. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, they had the money, they had the time, they had the drive, but their mindset was screwed up. Like, I'm gonna get rich. Well, that's a foregone. That's a good foregone conclusion when you provide value to the market. So, what I would much rather have happen is anybody in this group, if you know any one or two really good folks that this would be a benefit to, let me know. So it'd be much better to have a close-knit relationship with these people. I'm still gonna go through the mile-long list, and this is live and recorded, right? Anybody who comes in, they'll know they're special. Anybody who sees us, they'll know they're special because they made it on the team. So I'd appreciate that. I'd love to meet your friends. And so, Will, lay it on us, brother. Tell us your story, and then you're going to do a little coaching. Why don't we start that way? Share your story, and then you can give any type of maybe a 5-minute tip on Facebook, or just the power of it. Rather than people going out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, you can give people the power of Facebook and how they literally have that tool in their hands. They can utilize it instead of just wasting the time.
Cool, yeah, man. It's good to meet you and see you. And yeah, just to echo what you were saying about James Chapman. I mean, James and I connected earlier this year, and the guy is a rock star. And he is. He's a guy that knows how to rally a room, and he's been a pretty big influence just in our short time that we've got to know each other. Mutual friend connected us, and so we actually co-partner in one of our mastermind groups together, which is kind of fun, and just learned a lot from the guy. So he's got a lot of integrity. So when he picked up the phone and said, "Hey, you need to check this. You need to give Troy a call," I didn't hesitate. That didn't take much to do. So that's how I got connected with you. I'm familiar with Russell Brunson. I got started in internet marketing back in 1999. So I was living in Miami at the time, and I had really screwed up my credit back when I was in my early. I had to learn the hard way how to fix it. And so I was helping people fix their credit after I learned kind of a system to do. And some guy says, "Why don't you write a book?" So I went and I wrote a book, and or this book that I was going to sell via mail and go to Kinko's and get it printed out in spiral bound. And I put a little classified ad in the newspaper and was selling it for like $19. I don't know if I barely broke even, but I was running all around the place trying to sell this one little book. And but something entrepreneurial sparked in me in that moment, and then I decided I needed to learn how to market. So I went online and I found a book about how to market your stuff online, and I downloaded it and I was reading it, and about halfway through it, like a brick to the head, I'm like, wait a second, what just happened here? I said I literally was sitting here at home, typed in something, read a sales page, put my credit card in, downloaded a book. This guy's probably sleeping who wrote this book, and here I am running to the bank, the P.O. box, Kinko's, mailing this thing out for $19. I was like a $2 profit after all was said and done. I'm like, I'm doing this wrong. This internet thing is right. So I went ahead and that night created a PDF document, learned how to create a web page. Back then it was all HTML stuff, and I put that up and put it into ClickBank, and it took off, man. I some guy affiliate was just selling it like crazy, and like $500 a day for the first. It was amazing, and so I was really hooked. So it got so bad though, where I was like abandoning everything in life to the point where I was chasing the money. And I had a real wake-up call because it crossed some of my core values. And so at one point I decided I'm going to put marketing aside, and I literally just focused on my spiritual life, just trying to make sure I got things in my own values right. And in 2006 or 2005, I picked it back up, and I decided I was going to do a lot of local business marketing, really help them with their online presence, and which was great. And that progressed through getting local clients, and then I got married and have children, and the corporate life started sucking me in, and one promotion after another. Next thing you know, I find myself traveling around the world, raising my kids on my iPad, working for the corporate grind and away from the entrepreneurial stuff. And so that's a really short version of it. And about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, working for Fortune 100 company with 6 figures, I walked away from that job and said, I'm done with that. My wife and I agreed this was going to be our opportunity, and I just turned it on. And so I planted my flag in the ground around Facebook ads. I knew how to market online, and got trained by who I thought were the best leaders in-house, and then started doing it, and have been doing Facebook ads now consistently for the last 3 years after training, but coaching I got certified as a coach and have been doing coaching for the past year and a half with actual Facebook clients, and also doing the Mastermind, as you heard, and I'm launching a new Facebook Insiders Report, which is kind of like a monthly newsletter to keep up on Facebook. So Facebook's kind of where my niche is, if you will, and that's one of the things that I enjoy learning about and like in return. So I don't know, that's a long-winded version of a story, but there's a lot of context in there.
Now, what you said is, I think it epitomizes what we're doing here, Will, which is I just put a video up there that's just pretty awesome that you guys can check out later. I want to post another video by Alan Watts that just says, what do you desire? We bought into a system that we had no part in creating, which is go to school, get good grades, get a good job. And subtly, that message is, oh, and your God-given talents and passions, let's just put those aside for the next 40 years of your life, right? And then the messages that we see on a daily basis, the flicker rate on a TV that hypnotizes you, overlaid with commercials saying, Will, you're close, but you're not quite enough. But if you bought this, you'd be there, right? And so all of our lives were just pulled outside of ourselves. And in the end, everything that we gained from the man in the system, we give back to them. And so I love what you said. I didn't know your story, and I love James's story, is that you get the bold and courageous steps to do it your way, that in your soul is the way to do it. I don't want to get all philosophical, but that is strong, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you bet.
I just want to tag on something there. You guys gave me a lot of love there. I really appreciate that. But I want to say that we are nothing without each other. That's why the power of the Mastermind, once again, is when you bring people together and you share ideas and collaborate, it's just explosive what can happen. I got to say, I've been running Facebook ads since 2010 when I was involved in a little network marketing company that Troy might remember. And it was pretty awesome because nobody was really advertising on Facebook. Everybody had been on Google, and then the slap happened, and everybody was falling away from Google, right? And so Facebook ads were brand new. I bought a course from Ryan Dice about how to advertise on Facebook. I went through and followed his instructions, placed an ad for my network marketing company, and I got tons of leads. And I was just blowing up in leads. And it was cheap, and then as a consequence, a partner of mine and I built one of the largest teams in the entire company, the fastest, and we were doing weekly webinars. It was awesome. And so I've been doing Facebook ads for a while, and when I met Will just earlier this year, he was showing me stuff. I mean, it changes daily. He was showing me stuff that I have never even thought of before. So again, once you get around great people with great skills, your skill set automatically just has to rise with it. A rising tide lifts all boats, right, Troy?
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, it does, man. And that was, I'm not going to do any coaching on this. I know Dan has got this stuff dialed as well, but we become who we hang around. It's just the way it is, man. You go to a barbershop with no intention of getting your hair cut, man, eventually you're going to get your hair cut. It's just the way it is. And so I protect my, wasn't always this way, but I just know that it's better to be alone than around the wrong people. So I eliminated a lot of really good folks. It's not that they're good or bad, it's just that they're not going in the same direction. We don't think the same. And I also understand that literally what people are thinking, just the vibration of their thoughts, can affect me. And so I guard it. Like the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, I think everybody should get it, and they need to really digest that stuff, because it's absolutely been my experience that's true. So I just put that video up for you guys for later. And Will, can you give us a dissertation about Facebook, the power of it, where it's going, and what it would mean to everybody in the group to go that direction to market the businesses?
Sure. So I don't know. Maybe the best way to really start is to separate. I had a guy who I was coaching yesterday, and he's been on Google AdWords. Maybe just to separate the two for a second, because and then to show you the power of Facebook. But Google, as you know, it was shocking to me when I was doing local business marketing. I would be able to do keyword research. So literally turn Google around to the backside, find out what people were typing into there. It was, and I said to people, I made a bold proclamation. I said, for the first time in human history, we can see into the unspoken mind of humanity in an anonymous way, because people are not afraid to run no filter through what they type into Google. And so for the first time in all of history, we could start to see this, what people really thought, what people really felt. And the unfiltered, raw, edited purity of truth that would come through there was amazing, because you were able to find out what people really wanted, what they really thought, and what they really think, and something they would never admit to their best friend or their mom. And why that was opening to me is because when people type things into Google, they are telling you exactly what they want without mincing words, whereas when you talk to a salesman or you talk to somebody else, you're afraid of agendas. You're not saying exactly what you might really be feeling. So that was the first separator between Google and Facebook. When people type things in Google, there's an intention. And there's an intention to either purchase or there's an intention to find answers. And so advertising in Google has a very, very different dynamic to it because people are looking for, there's a commercial, there's just this commercial intent behind Google searches. So if you have a commercial intent behind Google searching because they're looking for XYZ product, and then you go over to Facebook and you try to adopt that strategy, you usually fail miserably because where you had the commercial intent where people are just typing in exactly what they want, they're in Facebook with a social intent. And so a lot of marketers kind of just took their skill set from Google AdWords and brought it over to Facebook and then fell on their face because it looked hypey. They were getting reported for, I don't like this ad. Their accounts would get shut down. They weren't able to get the same conversion ratios because people weren't looking for that. They were looking for, you know, Aunt Ruthie's pool party pictures, and you know, this is not the right place. It was a different dynamic. And so I'd start by sharing the power of Facebook has to start with knowing you're advertising to a different platform. People aren't necessarily shopping. They're not on eBay. They're not looking for your product or service. It may be something that you desire in the back of their mind, but when you advertise, you have to come at it from a social intent. Once you have that down, the next piece to know is that your market is on Facebook. There is 1.35 billion active users on Facebook, and so your market is on Facebook. And Facebook did this really crazy thing, which was very, very cool in one sense and creepy in another, but they basically gave everyone a profile form to fill in and connected the world. And so 1.35 billion people went ahead and filled all their details in, right? Just fill your profile in. Name field, put your name in. Where do you live? Where do you work? Put that in there. What do I like? What movie do I like? And for 9 years, they sat back on all this voluntary data that was self-input. So why would you lie about that? You're filling out your forms. You're liking it. You're engaging in conversation. And so it was a very intriguing model. So everyone was doing it without really thinking about what was in the other side of it. Where was Zuckerberg with all of this? And so what they did was they took all of that data for 9 years and collected it all, and they put it into a graph. And so that graph, which is the open graph, has all your interest, has all the different people that like Russell Brunson, or they might be interested in shopping at this store, or they like this. They have all their interest, all the different things you may not like as well. There's so many ways to categorize it. And so the idea behind Facebook is, A, your market is on Facebook. B, there's enough toggles and controls that you can get your message in front of your audience. So that leaves the final equation of what is your message and how can you learn to attract them to you because they're in a social environment, and rather than try to sell them. And that is the art of Facebook marketing. And so if you know how to use controls and use the levers within the technical space of Facebook, you absolutely can control that graph to get it in front of only people who like Russell Brunson and who like Entrepreneur Magazine and who make $75,000 and who checked into Gillette Stadium. You know what I mean? So you can do all of that marketing to that point where you are now not just putting on a billboard hoping somebody catches it. You're right in front of the person. And so if your message has a little bit of marketing pizzazz to it, you can then bring them through the funnel, starting with get in front of them, attract them through it, and bring them through your funnel. So that in principle is the power of Facebook, the ability to leverage their multi-billion-dollar graph system to get your message where you need it to go, and only pay when people raise their hand. So I mean, that's just a surface level. I don't know if that's helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very, very helpful. I think what you're talking, Will, is just especially for the majority of people who are on a budget, you know, that they don't have extra cash to blow. Because there's a lot of people out there on the internet, I mean, you probably haven't run into any of them, who will take your money and not give you much value. You know. Do you like Gary?
Yeah. He's got a great style, and he's right, and he's very right about. I mean, he's right about his media. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you're our guy, Will, and this is some really good for and one of the challenges with internet marketing or any project or life is getting sidetracked, you know, and really understanding. And the thing that Russell's done well is laid out exactly what you need to do, adhere to that, and also expand your knowledge base. This book is really brilliant. It gives you an understanding of what Will's talking about, how massive the social media market is. And I love the language you used, Will, that, you know, first time in history. And it is so remarkable that, and that's what I feel, and I know James feels this, we've talked about it, it's like, man, for the first time in history, the planet is connected. And if you look at anything going on in China, if you look at anything going on in government, brother, we don't know how long this window is open. And so with people like Al and people who have these projects of making the world a better place, man, it's like that's what I used to pull me into getting my butt off the couch. I'm really there. You know what I mean? Because we don't, like, again, going philosophical like the Buddha says, man, it's like the problem is you think you have time. The reality is you don't. And so when we can give ourselves that loving push to do the things that we're here to do, because, you know, what do they say, James? God doesn't always call the ready. Sometimes he readies the called. And I think that's what I'm so passionate about is finding people who have that desire. It's like, man, I know this needs to happen. You know, this needs to be out in the world. And if you can think it, there's a reason. You know, you were called on it. And just start moving your feet. Do what you can with what you have right where you're at. And it's perfect. And then people like this will show up and surround you. And doors that you didn't even know existed will begin to open for you. And that fires me up. You know, just this project, Russell's like, hey, look, I know that you love community. I know the way you think. Would you like to run this Expert Secrets project? And you guys, it was just like, I felt honored, incredibly honored that Russell thought enough of me to take this on. And yeah, we just walk in and look how much richer my life is. Reconnected with Matt McVicker, who I've always loved, Pat, you know, meet Dan, all you guys, you know, it's cool stuff. So thanks. Any closing remarks on that, Will?
No, I was just gonna really close up with, unless there's a question, but by just saying what you say is true about the time, and the time is now. Because a year ago, for example, I did a live experiment in front of my own students where I ran an ad with an empty coffee cup to my wife who was in the house, saying I need a new coffee, because I knew she was going to scroll through her phone, but only to her. If you can target with that precision, we're not able to do that anymore legally, but before the terms of service change, you could target with that precision, where I literally, from my office outside, ran an ad to my wife inside asking for a refill on a cup of coffee. I mean, I did it out of fun for everybody, but it worked. And the fact that she was able to see that on there and let she know it's coming from me. It's my wife. She puts up with a lot of junk. But when it comes down to it, it was the ability to market with that type of precision doesn't exist even today. It's evolved a little bit more. And so the real skill and art is to seize the opportunity, I think, that's out there right now, to build the platform while you can, know how to use what's there, and have a strategy behind it. Because as you delay, the marketplace starts to erode, and something new will take over. No doubt about it. But right now, there's an unprecedented moment, so things change by the hour. It's kind of the reason behind the catalyst for the newsletter. So, yeah, it's really, really cool what you can get done in 24 hours. So, yeah, that's, unless there's any questions, I don't know. I can get into specifics if people have them, but I don't know if that will serve the group.
No, I appreciate you, Will. I think that what we need to do on this one, because it is Saturday, is hold the question. People can connect with you. And I hope everybody within this group sends friend requests and opens up that channel and asks questions. And, you know, any inspirations that come from your connections and conversations, if you'll share them with the group, that'd be awesome. I really appreciate what you being here, Will, and I love the story. So with that, I'd love to go to Mr. Chapman is, and we'll go back this way, and then Dan will have you wrap it up with your mindset. And what we're looking for is like things that we can do, like apply today. And Dan's going to wrap that up. But Mr. Chapman has supported me through a lot of my life experiences, and he's just become a good friend. And he and I both talked about. I'm in another program that where you get a mentor, or some call it a sponsor, and I would go in and I'd say, "Oh my God, life is so challenging," and he'd say, "This too shall pass, Troy." And then I'd come in and I'd say, "Oh my God, life is so amazing." He'd look at me and say, "This too shall pass, Troy." And that's life. That's just the way it is. And James, in a lot of ways, has been my Obi-Wan, and I learn from him every day. So he's going to share a little bit today and give us a nugget. So take notes. Take it away, James.
Hey, thanks so much, Troy. I can say the same about you, man. I've had to lean on you and sometimes too, and it is. It's life. It comes and goes in seasons, and if we approach it with with the desire to learn and to grow and to become a better person all the time, then you can't go wrong no matter what's going on around you. So, Troy, he pinged me this morning and said, "Hey, I want you to speak 10 minutes on perseverance," and I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, I got to come up with something to speak on today." What so. But then I thought, you know what? Oh, I've got this, and I've got this, and I've got this, and so now I'm thinking, okay, I don't want to go over 10 minutes. So where we are, 10:04 here, Pacific time. So I'm going to try and keep this to 10 minutes, right under the gun. And first thing I want to share with you, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and bear with me here while I bring it over. Tell me if you can see. Tell me when you see my screen.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I picked up this book. Anytime I see a book recommended from 3 separate sources, 3 separate different origins in the course of a short time span, in this case it was about a week, I kept seeing this book come up and recommended, and so I picked it up. It's Stephen Pressfield, and it's called The War of Art. And it's all about kind of resistance and facing resistance, and it's just really beautifully written and well written, and it really kind of speaks to that force that keeps us from moving forward, that tendency that we all face when we're trying to start a project, or we're trying to stretch beyond our self-imposed limits, to stretch beyond what we feel we're capable of doing, and we got to bust through those self-imposed mindset shackles. What is it that keeps us from doing that, from taking that step? And I know I've kind of sat and just stared at my computer before I actually started doing any work, just trying to get myself to take that first step and make it happen. Well, that's perseverance. Is that ability to take that step? I don't care if it's in the moment or it's over time. Now we think of perseverance in terms of action over time, is like keep working, keep going, patience. You need to keep pressing forward in order to persevere, to have that result of the work that you're doing. And a lot of times we feel like, man, I'm just getting no results, no results, no results. Why am I doing this? Well, you're doing it because you're learning and you're building upon those efforts. I want to share a quote from you from this book. It says, "Resistance is invisible" is the name of this chapter. And it says, "Resistance cannot be seen, touched, heard, or smelled, but it can be felt. We experience it as an energy field radiating from a work in potential. It's a repelling force. It's negative. Its aim is to shove us away, distract us, prevent us from doing our work." And I think Troy was speaking about that a minute ago. The time is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not later today. The time is now to do your unique purpose, your unique work that only you can do. Only you have it. And the time is now to do it. And that's why every one of you is here today. It's no accident that you are here. Here's another quote real quick. Rule of thumb: the more important a call or action is to our soul's evolution, the more resistance we will feel towards pursuing it. So how do we face resistance? Last one from the book. The danger is greatest when the finish line is in sight. So you're feeling that the attacks come forth a lot of times, right when we're nearing the biggest output. And I encountered this. I'll give you an example if I have time, but I want to share with you first. What was it? Oh yeah. Okay, so I did this presentation a couple years ago, seven seeds of success, and one of them here is adversity. When that resistance, when that adversity comes to us, don't be upset about it. Don't get. It's there to help you rise higher and move forward. Okay, so don't be upset with adversity. It is your friend. It's a signal that you're on the right track. And what doesn't kill you really does make you stronger if you approach it with that attitude, with a persevering attitude, that you're going to continue to move forward and continue to try and fail. And Will's got a great story about failing like a boss, and he'll share that with you sometime. But it's hilarious and it's awesome, and it's very on point to what we're talking about here. The willingness to fail. A lot of times we don't take that step because we're afraid of what people might think of us if it doesn't work out. You know, we're afraid of what other people's opinions are. Oh, that's a piece of crap. Why did you create that? That's our own inner resistance speaking. It's no one outside of us. No one else really cares. They're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves and their fears. So don't worry about what other people think. So relatability means infallibility and inflatability, compassion, and empathy for others. And what that means is the adversity that you're going through gives you the ability to relate to others that are going through those situations in their lives. So we can help each other. I can speak to Troy. Troy can speak to me. We can speak to each other and help lift each other up. Have patience and faith. Patience and faith. What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It's the knowing that there's something that's going to come from these efforts. Even though you can't see them now, you have to have that faith that what you're doing is for the right purpose. That is your purpose and calling, that you can't go wrong. You have to hold on to that faith, have patience, because there is a cumulative effect to your actions. As you take action consistently, it accumulates. You learn new skills, you meet new people, you make connections that you never thought you would make. 24 hours ago from right now, none of us knew each other, except for Troy maybe, and Will and I. But we really didn't have a connection with each other. Now it's a brand new day. We're in front of brand new people, and we have no idea where this is going to take us. Have patience and faith. It's not what happens to you in life, but how you react to what happens to you that determines your outcome. How you react is based on your belief system. So, you know, one of the things, and Winston Churchill's famous quote here: "If you're going through hell, keep going." And they went through hell in Britain, they were getting bombed by the Nazis. But the belief system here, I just want to touch on this briefly. This first point: you must have a belief system that encourages and believes in the merits of success, and that you're predisposed to win. This is how you're wired. The only thing keeping you from your purpose and your success and your purpose is that resistance that you have to be prepared to persevere and face. And I'm going to close with this last piece here. Troy, this will be familiar to you. So this is a cartoon character named Oswald the Rabbit. And this was actually one of Walt Disney's very first characters. And this was a little thing I keep on my wall. And it says this. It says, after hundreds of attempts, Walt Disney created his first character, Oswald the Rabbit. Shortly after, he lost rights to the character because of a one-sided deal he signed in New York City. Dejected after a failed attempt at renegotiation, he returned to L.A. on a train. Just to frame this, guys, he went to New York to create this big deal with this company that was, you know, it was this big win. It was this big moment of breakthrough and success, and they hired his whole team and his team of artists he'd been working with to create Oswald and the cartoons. And here he was in the midst of his greatest success, yet the company swindled him and wrote him out of the contract to where he lost rights to everything. His entire team, his entire creation. They spent years creating this. Now, talk about adversity and resistance and rejection and loss and failure. I mean, how would you feel? So he's taking the train back from New York to L.A. As he traveled, he started developing the iconic character Mickey Mouse. The publishing company stole Oswald and Walt's dream, his money and staff, everything he worked for. They couldn't, however, steal his magic. The creativity forged through years of trials and tribulations. Mickey Mouse soared to heights, as we all know, but no one could have ever imagined. It was because of Walt Disney's magic and Oswald. Who's heard of Oswald now? Nobody. That publishing company, no one's heard of them. No one knows what that was, but it was Walt Disney's magic that was able to persevere, to have faith and patience and trust that no one could take that away from him. And it's true about you. No one can take away your magic, the unique value that you bring to the market. And you heard Russell talk about this on his webinar, and it's because it's true, guys. This is not just fluff. It's not just mindset. It's truth. So you've got the magic in you, and that's why you're here. So with that, I will wrap it up. I'm at 10:13, 9 minutes, Troy. How'd I do?
James Chapman, I tell you what, like we can just let's extend this Google Hangout. You're so awesome, man. I love you, brother. You never cease to inspire me. It's just fabulous. That's perfect, man. I got a lot of takeaways, man. Like you're talking about the law of the harvest. Like around here in Idaho, and farmers, man, they go all season, man, not knowing what's going to happen when it's time to harvest. And that's walking in faith. And a lot of times there's stuff underneath the ground you can't even see, and it takes a lot of faith. And I also heard like what you resist persists. It'll stay there. It's not going to go away. And I think the thing that this hangout is really driving home for me is that, and that Walt Disney story is, it matters who you surround yourself with, man. It absolutely matters. I surrounded myself with the wrong people and had the outcomes of that. I've surrounded myself with great people, and I've lived in the outcomes of that. And it's so important. And the thing that I really believe is everybody on this hangout has done a tremendous amount of personal development. It's obvious just through the conversation we've had and what's been shared here. That takes discipline, that takes time, that takes dedication. And the majority of people aren't doing it. And I promise you this, what they don't know can hurt you. It's not, they just don't know the rules. They don't know how to, like I heard Will say with his business, it's value-based. Man, this is in alignment with my values. So he changed. He just went in another direction. And I think that's one of the key things here, man, is to really get clear about what we value in life and write those values down. Down the road, I'll have a friend come on board who's really helped me with that, having values, seeing what possibilities are, and then really literally training me. And it's a discipline. When I have my values in my life, what matters to me, which is my family, which is discipline, which is commitment, which is fun, play, and those types of things. Every choice that I make, I have this mental note. It's like, is this taking me further away from or closer to? Is this on the line or is this off the mark? And it becomes pretty easy just to make a decision. It's not in alignment. Don't do it. And that's that internal voice that we all have. And it's like flexing it and working it out. Pretty soon, when you do that long enough, you can literally ask yourself a question in the mind. Yes or no? Boom. No? Okay, done deal. Done. And then we like to test that crap, right? We like to, the voice says no, but I say yes. Oh, here comes the lesson. Here comes the lesson. And it's all good. And so I don't like pain, man. So I just like, okay, yes or no, yes or no. Move forward. I kind of suck at it, but I'm pretty good compared to most. So, James, thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. So on my side, it's over here to Dan. Dan and I had this great conversation yesterday. It was one of those things. He reached out to me. I do use phone burner, so I can get through a lot of calls quickly. And so that personal note is kind of impersonal, but it's intended to the right people who will actually reach out. And Dan was blowing me up, man. He's calling me. He's like, dude, call me up. I'm interested in this expert teacher thing. Then he starts texting me. He's like, yeah, this is the type of person, man, right? We're only looking for the people who are looking, the right people. And so we had this great conversation yesterday, and I'm that person that, and Russell would work with me on this, and he's worked with me a ton, is that once I know the deal's done, because I can feel it, it's like, okay, let's get to work. Let's just go. And I appreciate Dan. I think it's that Alaska mentality. They're unique and different, man. They get it done. And he's like, so this morning when we spoke yesterday, he came into Expert Secrets yesterday, has not seen a webinar until next Thursday. And I hit him up this morning. It's like, dude, will you train? He's like, game on. Let's go. And that's what I'm talking about, man. I appreciate that. So, Dan, Dan Pines, give us the good stuff, brother.
All right, hey man, appreciate it, and talked me up real well, and said a lot of really nice things. So I was just excited when Troy asked me today to teach for just a few minutes, and wanted to think about what could I give you in 10 minutes that would be powerful, that you could take away from this. There's some high-level people on this. Obviously, everybody on here has spent quite a bit of time, and I'm just hearing recurring themes here, and it just strengthens where I was going. And so when Troy asked me to talk to you a little bit about mindset, I decided I'd talk to you about some visualization, and maybe in a different way than you've ever heard before. And the first thing that I want to start off with is talking about just that alignment piece that's been mentioned a couple times already. You're most powerful when you're aligned with what you believe in, with your true self, with who you are. And that's when you can really move forward and accomplish things in life. And I don't know what that is for you. For me, that's a desire for people to experience what it would mean in an initial sense to live under the kingdom rule of Jesus Christ. And so if I can do that, and the things that I pursue in my business and my personal relationships and things like that, that's when I'm most true to myself, and that's when I'm most powerful, and that's when I can have the greatest effect and give the best value to those that I interact with. And so you have to align yourself with who you are, with your core, and I just appreciate Troy's comments on that already. And so just going into this visualization thing, I was a little bit of a strange child. And so I probably started applying visualization techniques in high school, and specifically in playing soccer. I can remember on the way to games sitting there and just kind of going into a meditative state and experiencing in full detail. So I'm not just talking about a picture that I could see, but a picture that I can see. It's like I'm in a movie. So I can hear the sounds, I can smell the grass, I can feel the wind and the sun on me. And in these things, imagining specific plays and events, moves, beating defenders, beating a goalie, scoring the goal, and I can remember sequencing these things in my mind before I ever reached the field, and specifically seeing how things were going to play out, and then getting into those games and just being in a flow state and having those exact things that I had visualized before happen. And just experience it, and they would happen exactly the way that I imagined it, to the point that I did some crazy things, nutmegging goalies, rainbowing balls into the goal, things that I had seen before. And one thing you have to understand, I was not a very talented soccer player. I did not have a great skill set level. I was not the best guy with the ball, but I could see openings, and I knew when I had a chance, and I could go without hesitation and take those opportunities. And so I can remember applying those things. And so one of the things that I just want to say on that front is, whatever you're trying to accomplish in life, you always do what you want to do. I'll say that again because I think it's very, very important. You always do what you want to do. Doesn't matter what it is. So I'm kind of moving into the physical space of sport performance and health and nutrition and that type of thing. And so on that side of thing, if you've got somebody that says they're trying to achieve something physically, whether they're trying to lose weight or they're trying to get faster, they're trying to become more powerful, their actions are going to be dictated by what they love. Your reigning affection will dictate your actions every single time. You might say, well, I didn't really want to do blank. Don't give me that. Yes, you did. You really wanted to. Your heart told you that in that action you would have some sort of rescue, some sort of salvation, that it provided some need that you felt at a core level at that moment. So you always do what you want to do. Your reigning affection will dictate your actions. And so if you can align yourself and what you're trying to pursue, your goals, with who you are, and love those things and see them as real and move towards them, you're going to experience an ability to provide value to other people, an ability to receive love and information, and to receive just an abundance in your life that overflows to other people. And so one of the visualization techniques that I use is very simple. So here's the practical application of this piece, is just to take a few minutes, and I will center myself, just quiet. I'm sure all of you have practiced some form of meditation, some sort of centering state where you just become quiet, empty your mind, focus on your breathing, and find out where you're at in that moment. Figure out who you are and where you are, and just quiet and empty yourself. And then experience that end thing. So like me experiencing beforehand scoring a goal on a soccer field, you can experience beforehand what you want to achieve, whether it's a business goal, whether it's a physical goal, whether it's a personal development goal. You can experience that. And the amazing thing is our mind. Our mind is an amazing thing. And I believe that God has given humans, like no other creature, the ability to shape, to shape the world around them, to shape their very lives through their thoughts. I call it having dominion over this creation. And I don't see that in any other creature on this planet, but God has given us as humans the ability to shape our lives through our thoughts. And part of that is our core beliefs, our affections, our desires that drive us in that. And the other part of that is the information that we have on top of that, the knowledge base that then allows us to live that out in a consistent and an aligned manner. And so our minds allow us to create that, and part of that magic of that mind, your subconscious, you don't know the difference between what you experience in real life and what your mind experiences in full detail as a visualization. When you have those mental experiences, your subconscious can't tell the difference between experiencing it in that state and experiencing it in the physical world. And so when you can take yourself through this experience of where you're going, of what you're achieving, you're already there. Your mind sees it as having already happened. It's already a done deal. And then it's just a matter of time before that physically manifests in your life. When I say that you are what you think, but I don't mean that in some wishful hocus pocus like, oh, I can wish for this and it's going to happen. No, it happens as a course of you having your thoughts aligned with where you're going, aligned with who you are at your core as an individual. And then those reigning affections dictate the actions that you take on a daily basis, on a moment-by-moment basis. And through that, you become what you think about. You become your thoughts. They physically manifest in your life. And so quiet yourself, take a few minutes, center yourself, and then experience. See the colors, hear the sounds, smell, take in, feel the energy and the motion. Feel the eyes on you if there's other people in your end state experience. Whatever it is, take that in, soak it in. Spend 3, 4, 5, 10 minutes just living that experience out. And then as soon as you're done, boom, sit down, write it out. And I don't mean type, okay? We live in a digital era, but there's something about that physical connection between your hand on a pen and on the paper and writing out that experience. And you write it out in full detail, exactly as you experienced. Don't leave out the smallest detail, the smells, the sounds, the sights, the feelings. You record it. And then you come back to it. And in those tough times, like Troy has mentioned before, it's life. And sometimes it sucks. It just does. And you're going to experience those setbacks. You're going to experience those times where you're wondering, where you're unsure, where you don't know exactly if you can hit that. You have those moments of doubt and self-doubt. Go back and relive that experience. Post that thing somewhere where you can see it every day. Read it every morning. Read it every night. And then not only that, when you have those moments of decision, take a moment, center yourself, experience that again, relive that experience. You'll know where you're at and what you need to do. Like Troy was saying, you just run those ideas through your head in an instant, make a decision. Is this aligned or not? Align it with that experience and make your decision based on that. You'll know immediately how to move forward. In those days when you're struggling with motivation, for me, I work a full-time job that's very draining, and I love it. I love teaching. but it can be just sapping on my strength, on my willpower. And sometimes there are days when I get home and to now plug in and move forward with a business is just a mental strain. And to find that motivation to move through that, to power through that, to be powerful and be able to provide more value, to give more value, to provide it to my family when I come home from a long day of work. Sometimes I have to go back and I have to live in that experience, that end experience of where I'm going, and realize that it's already a done deal. And then from that energy, just move forward and be able to provide more value. And so I hope that you guys find that a little bit helpful. I know there's guys on here that are probably taking this to levels much higher than what I have, but that's a little bit of my experience and what I've learned over the years, and I just wanted to share that with you. And so thanks, Troy, for an opportunity to do that.
Dan, I tell you, brother, there are no mistakes. You know, like James, it's like you're a brother from another mother. I really appreciate what you just shared. I think that is about as true as it gets. We always do what we want. We always do it. You know, talk is one thing, but our actions will always be that touchstone, that truth of what it is that we value most. And I think you just did such a fabulous job of explaining that. You are an incredible teacher, man. And I'm really grateful. The thing that came to me when all of you were sharing is, again, I used to give that book, As a Man Thinketh, out as gifts to everybody all the time, and I'd have a stack of them. And I also know that there was a lot of things that I knew about, but I did not know. And it was the same thing with the book, As a Man Thinketh. I knew a lot about what was in the book, and I could tell people, you know, here's the quote. But I didn't own it. It wasn't in my DNA. It wasn't part of the toolbox. And as we go along, we get to own more and more of those things. And like you're talking about with visualization, and brother, it's you identify what it is that matters, and you get to practice in a way that when we look back, we go, oh my gosh, I thought I knew, but I had no clue. And that's good stuff. So in the book, As a Man Thinketh, this is my takeaway, and I want to wrap it up, you guys, because I'm really grateful, is James Allen says that we attract that which we are, not what we want to be. So we attract that which we are, not what we want to be. And so when, like James said, I didn't know, this wasn't even in the book, you know, a month ago. And here we are, and I'm so inspired by everything that you guys have shared. I'm grateful because I have learned that it's not the cars, the money, the houses, or anything. It's been those amazing relationships like I've got with James, where I can say, dude, Dan, it sucks. It sucks, dude. Talk me down. And he can share that. And he can remind me that, yeah, brother, this is a possible world. Anything that ever has been, ever will be, already exists. And you're on the right path. And I love what he shared. We will get resistance, man. And a lot of times, and I think it's a test, is that the people that are closest to us sometimes will be that resistance. And, you know, it's you got to walk through it. So thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for really giving me this gift today, man. I love you. I love you. I'm grateful. And that's all I got. I got no parting words. I'm blown away, and I'm going to take you with me through the day. So anybody else got some good stuff they want to share before we hop off?
I just want to thank Dan for that. Yeah, that powerful insight. That, you know, and your humility, my friend. That was some awesome just reminders to really focus on those things that really we love and that bring joy in our lives. You know. Thank you.
Thank you, man. It's kind.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Troy. You stud.
Wonderful presentation today. Wonderful presentation.
That's the stuff, brother. Thanks, Tom. You know, that right there, right this. I'm so glad this went off the way just perfectly. This is what it looks like when people share their gifts, man. You know, when they just openly, freely. We're all inspired. We're all better for it, and it's kind of getting a whole new set of glasses. You know, we get to see the world differently and act accordingly. So I hope you all have an amazing day. a couple of those videos I shared with you in the message box, you know, play those, play them loud, and just celebrate who you are, man. Entrepreneurialism is not always easy, and you know, you're living the way you're supposed to be living. I truly believe that, and this team is going to help create a tremendous amount of a lot of exposure for the things that matter in the world, and that's really what I'm most passionate about this group. Is notice there's nobody really on here there's nobody on here who's like, show me how to get rich. People have something to share, man, something to say, and like in that video that Alan Watts, he'll say it. He's like, man, do what you love. That way, every day is a joy, not without challenges, but it is a joy. And when you do something consistently enough with love in your heart, then you're going to become a master of it. And when you master something, people will pay you for it, and it's right for them to do so. And so that's the way it is, baby. Again, I really appreciate you. I am going to go see if I can catch the end of my son's. He texted me and said he's going to be wrestling, so I'm going to go watch my boy wrestle. So appreciate you much. I'll give you the link to this, James. Actually, you get me the link to this, and I'll get it out to folks, or you can put it out there. But I think it's a really great, great asset for people, and can really help some folks. So thank you. Have a great weekend.
Okay, see you guys.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Joe. Bye, guys.